Imagine standing in a room where someone is trying to shrink you with their presence. Their voice drops low, their stare bores into you, and they wait for the flinch, that tiny crack in your composure that tells them they've won. They've rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in their head. They expect you to crumble, to babble, to hand over your power wrapped in a nervous laugh. But what if, instead of shrinking, you became completely hollow, a space their pressure simply passes through? That's the moment the predator realizes they're alone in the room. Intimidation is a transaction. Someone offers up aggression, and they expect you to pay with your peace of mind. They're not interested in a fair exchange. They want a discount on your dignity. The louder they get, the smaller they need you to be. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. Their power isn't in their voice, it's in your ear that listens to it. Today, we're dismantling the mechanics of psychological pressure. We're not going to teach you to fight fire with fire. We're going to teach you to become so damp that their sparks can't catch. You'll learn to redirect their momentum, to use their own weight against them, to stand in a storm without getting wet. This isn't about becoming a tyrant. It's about becoming untouchable. There's a massive difference between being cold-hearted and having a heart that can't be rattled. We're building the second one. By the time we redone, their attempts to dominate you will feel like watching a toddler demand a move, but completely powerless. Before we step into the arena, plant this flag in the comments. My stillness is their storm. 1. Empty the stage. Every attempt to overpower you is a performance. They've built a set, they've written the script, and they've cast you as the terrified understudy. They need you to react. They feed on the energy you give back, the defensive posture, the quickened breath, the stammered reply. Your reaction is the applause that keeps them on stage. The moment you understand this, you can stop being the audience. You become the empty seats. When pressure hits, your biology screams for speed. Adrenaline wants you to talk faster, think faster, escape faster. That's a trap. Speed is their ally. To empty the stage, you must deliberately break the rhythm. You let their words hang in the air like smoke. You don't rush to fill the silence. You let it expand. Your posture stays rooted. Your shoulders stay down. Your eyes stay soft but focused. You're not challenging them. You're just not being moved. This stillness is a foreign language to them. They're fluent in argument, but they don't understand composure. When their aggressive push meets a motionless wall, their internal monologue switches tracks. They stop focusing on you and start focusing on themselves. Why isn't this working? Do I look desperate? Am I losing control? That self-doubt is a parasite that eats their momentum. Your face is the most powerful weapon here. No smirk, no frown, no exaggerated calm juiced. A neutral, attentive presence. Let them speak into the void. A performer without an audience gets very uncomfortable very fast. Watch your micro movements. Still hand signal a still mind. Fidgeting, shifting weight, adjusting your color. These are leaks of internal chaos. Plug them. Power is perceived through the surface, regardless of what's churning underneath. Remember, if you don't react, their act dies. You're not being weak. You're removing the stage lights. If you don't react, their act dies. 2. Force them to explain. Intimidation thrives on fog. It's vague, thunderous, and one-directional. They throw out statements like grenades. You're in over your head. Everyone knows you can't handle this. This is a disaster waiting to happen. These aren't arguments. They're emotional bombs designed to make you scramble for cover. Your defense isn't a louder, it's a flashlight. You turn the spotlight back on them and force them to see what's actually in the room. When you ask for specifics, their fog evaporates. Use a calm, even tone, not sarcastic, not confrontational, just genuinely curious. What specifically leads you to that conclusion? Can you walk me through the logic there? What outcome are you most worried about? Each question is a scalpel, dissecting their emotional appeal. They're prepared for you to fight or fold, but they're not prepared for you to examine them. Explanation is heavy. It requires cognitive work, detail, and consistency, things an angry brain isn't good at. while they're struggling to build a logical framework for their emotional attack. You're just standing there, asking the next short question. You're not fighting, you're investigating. And the person doing the explaining is burning status energy. They're working harder, sweating more, while you remain composed. Start broad, then tighten the screws. What's the core issue here? Followed by, where did that information come from? Specificity is the enemy of exaggeration. As they talk, contradictions will surface. Don't pounce on them. Let them keep digging. Silence after their answer is a powerful tool. It pulls more words out of them, often words that reveal their bluff. Your body stays receptive, but firm. You're not nodding in agreement. You're just signaling that you're listening. This keeps your own brain in analysis mode, not reaction mode. You're thinking about what they're claiming, not how you're going to defend yourself. When pressure has to explain itself, it shrinks. You haven't dodged the fight. You've dissolved it. When pressure has to explain itself, it shrinks. 3. Steal their tempo. Urgency is the fuel of dominance. They want a fast answer, a quick concession, a rapid emotional spike. They try to compress your thinking time into a fraction of a second. Your counter is to expand it. You deliberately slow down your speech, your movements, your blinking. You make the moment bigger, not smaller. Controlled pacing screams authority louder than any raised voice ever could. When threatened, the nervous system floors. The accelerator. Words come out in a clump. Pitch rises. Breathing gets shallow. This is a broadcast of vulnerability, a measured cadence. However, makes even simple words sound like final verdicts. Start with your breath. Inhale through your nose. Feel it settle deep. And speak on the exhale. This naturally drops your vocal tone and slows your pace. Lower tones are universally associated with credibility and stability. Imagine each word has weight. You're not throwing them at the other person. You're placing them carefully on a table between you. Insert small, intentional pauses before answering a charged question. That brief gap is power. Ite stem, I am choosing my words, not being pushed by your emotions. Your physicality must match. Quick, jerky movements, signal agitation. Keep gestures economical and slow. One hand movement instead of 5. Think of it as moving through honey. High-status individuals are quiet in their bodies. When they're loud and fast, and you're steady and unhurried, your stability becomes the anchor in the room. Their chaos looks weak beside your calm, but don't become sluggish. The goal is deliberate, not drowsy. Keep your words sharp and clear. If you feel your internal speed increasing, cut your sentences in half. Short lines are easier to control. Remember the internal cue? Pressure speeds up. Authority slows down. You're not matching their storm. You're changing the weather. 4. Own the invisible lines. Conversation is never just about words. There's a silent dance happening with every inch of space. An intimidator will try to win this dance. Before a word is spoken, they step too close, angle their body to block you, or lean in to make you lean back. Each inch you retreat is a transfer of power. Your goal isn't to start a shoving match. It's to demonstrate spatial ownership. First, build your foundation. Plant your feet shoulder-width apart, weight balanced. A stable base makes your voice and your eyes more stable. When they step into your zone, resist the urge to back. Hold your position for a beat. Let them feel like they're the one who crossed an invisible line. Often, they'll correct themselves when they see you're not a pushover. Keep your chest open and square to them. Turning away signals retreat. Square alignment signals presence. A tiny, almost imperceptible forward lean from the hips can neutralize their advance without looking aggressive. It says, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Use your environment. A table edge, a chair, a bag on the floor. These can be subtle barriers that create a buffer zone. It's not hiding. It's structuring the field of interaction. Keep your chin level. Tucking the chin looks defensive. Lifting it looks arrogant. Level is sovereign. Pair it with relaxed shoulders. Your eyes should be steady, like an anchor, not a laser beam. You're present, not predatory. Avoid darting glances, they signal a search for an escape route. Smooth eye movement signals internal certainty. When you hold your physical ground, the other person's brain subconsciously registers that escalating will cost more effort than it's worth. You're raising the price of intimidation without saying a word. Space is psychological territory. Hold your ground, and you hold the frame. 5. Practice strategic indifference. Emotional hooks are the bait in the trap. They'll toss out remarks designed to snag your pride, your anger, your embarrassment. They want you to prove yourself, to justify yourself, to defend your worth. Strategic indifference means you simply don't bite. This isn't passivity. It's a conscious choice about where to invest your emotional energy. You hear the remark, you register it, and you decide it's not worthy of a withdrawal from your peace account. The first step is internal labeling. Instead of absorbing the insult, categorize Italiano. That's a hook. That's posturing. That's a manipulation attempt. This tiny mental act creates a gap between the stimulus and your reaction. In that gap lives your freedom. Your face should remain lightly neutral, not frozen, but relaxed. A soft mouth, a steady gaze. Avoid the forced smile or the overly serious frown. Both are reactions. Think of natural calm, like a lake with no wind. If you need to reply, keep it short and low temperature, okay? That's your view? Noted, these words absorb without amplifying. They don't add fuel to the fire. This violates their expectation. They expected heat, and they got room temperature. Their predictive model crashes. They might push harder briefly, but without emotional payoff. Take teary out. Watch for your own leaks. Defensive chuckle, a sarcastic tone, a sharp sigh. These give away the engagement your words are trying to hide. Think of your voice as flat water. Your attention is currency. Every emotional reaction is a payment. When you stop paying, the manipulator runs out of funds. Indifference to provocation doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means you don't let them dictate your emotional spending. If a line is crossed, you state a boundary calmly. I'm not discussing this further. No heat, just fact. Detachment isn't weakness. It's the ultimate leverage. 6. Use the art of calibrated agreement. They present you with a false choice. Fight or surrender. Argue or submit. Thesis, atrap. There's a third path. You can agree with a part of what they say, without agreeing with their conclusion. This disarms them instantly. They were braced for collision, and you gave them a soft pillow. Their momentum has nowhere to go. The agreement must be precise. You're not conceding the war. You're acknowledging a single tree on the battlefield. Use phrases like, "That's one way to look at it. I can see why you'd feel that way. There's some truth to that." These statements validate their perspective, not their power. Tei, su, ju, re-listening. Not that you're weak. Your tone is Kievan, grounded, unhurt, no defensive edge. Your body stays composed. The message is, I'm not threatened by your viewpoint, so I can afford to acknowledge it. This robs them of the thrill of opposition. After the acknowledgement, you calmly restate your position. I understand your concern. I'm still moving forward with my decision. I hear you. My choice remains the same. See the structure. Recognition first, anchor second. This sequence lowers their emotional temperature while keeping your boundaries intact. Don't over-explain your stance after that. Lengthy justifications sound like doubt. Keep your anchor brief. Let silence do the heavy lifting. There's a neurological effect here. When people feel heard, even slightly, their threat response drops. You're de-escalating without yielding. That's advanced control. Be careful not to overdo it. One clean acknowledgement is enough. Too much sounds appeasing. This move requires ego control. The urge to counterpunch is strong, but reflexive contradiction fuels conflict. Calibrated agreement shows confidence because it demonstrates you're not afraid of their opinion. You're using verbal aikido directing their force. You can grant them a point without granting them authority. They are not the same thing. Spend the first to protect the second. 7. Exit on your terms. Win in silence. How you leave a confrontation is the memory you leave behind. Most people fight hard in the middle but collapse at the exit. They rush, Hawaii mutter under their breath. Or Islam adore. That last image overwrites everything. The person who controls the ending controls the story. Intimidators want the last word. They want to prolong the exchange because extended engagement increases your chance of slipping. Your power move is to refuse the extension. Once your boundary is set, your point is made, or your acknowledgement is given, you leave. You don't linger in the tension. The mechanics of a strong exit are subtle. Your voice stays level on your final sentence. We're done here. I've said what I needed to say. Short, final, neutral. Then, you move. Don't spin away abruptly that looks like escape. Shift your body smoothly. Gather your things without hurry, and walk away at a natural pace. Unhurried motion signals that you're leaving because you choose to, not because you have to. Your face stays composed until you're completely out of sight. Many people hold it together during the talk, but the second they turn, they sigh, shake their head, or roll their eyes. That leak destroys the power of the exit. Don't over-explain your departure. I have to go now is enough. A long justification reopens the negotiation. A concise close preserves your frame. And after you leave, stay silent. No follow-up. Texts driven by adrenaline. No. For litigating the moment. Let your calm departure be the final word. Observers, if any, will judge the person who left centered as the one in control. Social memory weights endings heavily. Use this. Each composed exit trains your brain that you are not trapped. You are free. Dominance isn't forcing a continuation. It's choosing a conclusion. The calm departure writes the final verdict. No noise, no victory lap. Just quiet, undeniable control. Intimidation is a parasite that needs a host. It needs your adrenaline, your fear, your hurry. It needs you to play the game by its rules. But you've now seen the architecture behind the pressure. You've learned to empty the stage, to question the fog, to slow the tempo, to own your space, to starve the hooks, to agree without falling, and to exit in silence. You don't need a louder voice. You don't need sharper insults. The most powerful person in any room is the one who can't be rattled. The one who listens without shrinking, questions without trembling, and leaves without rushing. You become a mirror that reflects their own instability. Back at them. Next time someone tries to push you, remember this. You're not there to win an argument. You're there to hold your frame. Let them burn their energy. Let them perform for an empty house. The louder they get, the clearer their desperation becomes. Calm turns pressure inside out. Power isn't force. It's emotional self-command under fire. It's the steady gaze, the measured reply, the boundary that doesn't need decoration. Mastered that, and intimidation has nowhere to land. If this framework gave you a new lens on handling pressure, help winds of thought reach more people who need to stand unshaken. Hit that like button to share this quiet strategy, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the art of unshakable presence. Remember, you don't beat intimidation by fighting it. You beat it by becoming a place it cannot exist.